The Florida Panthers are Stanley Cup champions. Let me repeat that. The Florida Panthers are Stanley Cup champions. I remember when I first got to ESPN in 1996, the Florida Panthers shocked the entire universe by actually making it to the Stanley Cup final against the Colorado Avalanche, and they got swept. Okay? That was when, if I'm not mistaken, there was the plastic rats all over the place, right?
Oh, yeah.
Remember that? Scott Mellanby, my bad.
Mellanby.
Scott Mellanby, remember him? He used a stick to eliminate a rat in the locker room before the game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember doing their highlights, the Florida Panthers. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but they went 25 years without winning a playoff series after that.
They've been awesome since.
I also remember back when I was at ESPN for the first time, there was a 28-year-old head coach of the Hartford Whalers. The dreaded, hated owner, Peter Carmanos, hired a 28-year-old kid to be the coach of the Hartford Whalers and then moved the team to Carolina. Guy's name is Paul Maurice. 28 years old. At the time, the second youngest coach in the history of the NHL. And he became the coach eventually of the Florida Panthers. And we all saw last night a big moment for him as the Panthers. I mean, you want to talk about a huge relief. As the Panthers avoided losing the cup after being up 3-0. We did see a Game 7, which we'd only seen twice before, a team up 3-0 in a Game 7. Last time we saw it was 1945, year before that, 1942, and here we are in 2024, and the Panthers are staring it right down the gullet. The it being a way to be discussed in shorthand. You don't want to be discussed in sports shorthand. You don't want to be Munsoned. Okay? So here they are staring at in the face at home. You know, Alanis Morissette, by the way, how about that?
Doing them both.
Right? Doing them both. The national anthems. And as she's singing Oh Canada, it sounds like they're in Edmonton. And you're like, oh no. Right? Oh, Florida. Really? This is the team that, again, for all of their years being casted as the team that can't fill their arena. Why are they bringing hockey down to South Florida anyway? What is going on with this franchise being in the NHL? Folks in Canada were kind of like looking down their continent at them. And in comes Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers to try and put them in a part of history that is a part of history you don't want to be in. And they won. And they finally break through and win the Stanley Cup. And Paul Maurice, this was a great moment for him. Kid from Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. I've been to, by the way, the Upper Peninsula of Sault Ste. Marie in Michigan. And I've been there, and it's beautiful country. Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Kid from there getting to hoist the cup in his late 50s. Guy was once upon a time 28, now an older man finally breaking through for a franchise that finally breaks through with him. This was him on the Canadian broadcast on Sportsnet.
It's just brilliant, right? It's I've never hugged so many sweaty men in my entire life. I'm not sure I'm going to do it again, but I'm going to do it tonight. So, you know what? It's not what I thought it would be. It's so much better, but it's the hugs, man. I saw Sam Bennett smile today. First time in 2 years. It's brilliant. You know, it's for my mom and dad in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. My brothers, Mike and Shane, in Sault Ste. Marie and Waterloo. The whole Langlois clan in LaSalle, Ontario. All of the people that suffered through 30 years of me losing, making excuses. Mom and dad especially. Hey, Dad, your name's going up with your heroes. Belleville, Richard, Hal, Lindsay, Maurice.
How cool is that, right?
Wow. So cool.
And then he got the cup while he's being interviewed by ESPN.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
That was great.
Yeah.
He's like, hold on a second. I got a visitor.
Yeah, I got a visitor.
And he talked to it. Like he was talking to it. Man.
This is the moment of victory on Florida Panthers radio. Is that what we're going to play right here? Doug Plagans and Bill Lindsay with the call.
10 seconds left. 2-1 Panthers. A dream 30 years in the making is a reality. Whoa! The Florida Panthers have won the Stanley Cup.
Lord Stanley is coming home. You always will have a place in South Florida. Oh, my God.
The Panthers have won the Stanley Cup for the first time in franchise history.
Yeah!
Start the celebration, South Florida. The Panthers have done it.
Stanley Cup champions!
And Bill Lindsay was on that Cup team that lost the year I arrived at the worldwide leader in sports as a 26-year-old with a lot more hair. Pretty wild. It's finally happening. And so the scenes that we were all like, really, is that what it would look like if the Florida Panthers won the Stanley Cup? Well, we're seeing it. We're seeing it. Cup was in the Atlantic Ocean earlier today.
Yep.
Cup was in the Atlantic Ocean earlier today.
Oh, yeah.
There it is. In the Atlantic Ocean.
Oh, he falls.
That's awesome. Just awesome. The famed Elbow Room in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
Made it up there.
Yeah, I saw
That's where the boys are.
Yeah. Like this
Famous
morning.
movie.
Like this morning.
Yep,
Like,
this morning.
Like they haven't been to sleep yet.
There it is. And they're drinking out of the cup from the second story of the Elbow Room. It's being poured down to
Pouring
a
beer.
mouth on the ground floor. That's the way it works in South Florida. The cup that was here
The cup
just
that was here.
last a couple months ago.
That's
Right?
Wow.
Congrats to the Florida Panther
Best
fans.
championship celebration that there is.
So cool.
Man.
Oh, because you bring it around. The cup is
everyone
made
gets
to be
to-
paraded around
Yeah.
and be with the people.
And the joy,
Yeah.
the joy in that man's voice announcing the game, just the joy that these players feel, just accomplishing that and getting to touch that thing that we had right here staring in front of us. It's truly amazing, man, and it gives you chills to hear, like the stories and
Yeah, the journeys.
the
and
journeys,
and the irony of the McSorley jinx being
Keeps going.
kept alive by a kid from Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, coaching his bunch of Panthers, who, again, as I mentioned, the third team in the last 40 years to win the Stanley Cup in the year after they lost in the Stanley Cup final. That's a rarity, too. You lose, you get to the very end and lose in one year, and the next year you get back there. You roll that rock up the same hill, and you break through. Only 3 times in the last 4 decades that's happened, and it's from a team that went a quarter century in between playoff series victories in a town that, is known for being the birdcage. So there you have it. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.